Hello, people. This one's been a long time in coming. It's complicated, but a bigger part of me is saying, why bother when you know what's coming? But I'm not about to put up with this anymore, people, okay? I think this started around about, I don't know, I can't remember how long ago it started, but around about 6 to 7 months ago, probably a bit longer, about 8 months knowing me, I started noticing that my tea didn't taste the same. It just seemed to have this weird kind of bitter taste that you just didn't really want in your mouth or, want to be drinking. And after a while, the horror hit me that, is it perhaps that they're starting to step up, a project, another evil project, So anyway, I just started trying to find other tea bags. This started off with the Gold label tea bags in Lidl. Now, I'm unemployed on the sick. I don't get a lot. But I get enough. I'm not complaining. More would be, a little bit more would be nice, but And I just started noticing these tea bags from Lidl. They just started tasting like I said, this weird tanning taste and like bitter, like there's something that shouldn't be in it, And I prized Lidl for their cheap tea bags, because they're not, tea bags are not cheap, if you've got a budget to work on, if you're unemployed, then, it's, and that's why I'm assuming a lot of people go to Lidl, because it's a lot cheaper. And, to be quite honest with you, a lot of their food's better quality, So I started thinking, well, what do you do? So I just started changing the tea bags. I started going for these guys, started shopping around. I brought myself a teapot and a strainer and what I do now is that I don't even use the tea bags. I break the tea out of the tea bags and put it in the teapot because I think there's something in the paper as well, people. Right, okay. So I started buying these and just sort of like taking it from the back as you do. And I've noticed that other people were ignoring the yellow label tea bags, I wonder why, So I started getting these more expensive ones. Even though I couldn't afford it, I started getting these more expensive ones and it seemed to work for a while. I still break the tea out of the bag and put it in the teapot. And now, I think about 3 weeks later, they've cottoned on that, everyone's going for the tea bags that didn't taste of poison. And now they started putting it in these. And I brought 2 of these packets, because I have a condition and I have to drink lots of fluid, and I happen to like tea a lot, so I drink tea a lot. I have to keep my fluid levels right up, because I have a bowel condition. And tea is really good for that too, And one of the things I've noticed as well, along with this, is that my tongue has started to get sore, mainly in the middle and the sides, but it's really quite noticeable. It's like you've been putting salt on your tongue and rubbing it up and down, and then putting salt on your tongue, and then you get that sort of ulcerous feeling, if there's such a word, on your tongue. Now, I had enough of this, and before I get on with this, let's get now. I've noticed it in the milk, especially in the milk, people. Just take a sip of the milk, okay, and just feel your tongue and observe how your tongue feels, and it makes it feel sore. So whatever it is, they're putting it in the tea bags and they're putting it in the milk. Okay, that much is certain. I've noticed that if you boil the milk, it helps a bit. And I've noticed they're putting it in things like spicy things like ketchup and salt. Anything they can get away with disguising this bitter, horrible, whatever it is. I tried doing a bit of research as well about, and it's in the water as well. That's why I never drink water from the tap. I mean, this has been known for quite some time. I'm getting off the subject, but this has been known for quite some time that they're not cleaning our water supply properly, and they are reintroducing clear sewage back into our water supply, our so-called fresh water supply. Now, I'm trying to drink bottled water for some time, but every now and again I run out. I haven't got enough money. I have to drink water. And I broke the rule and I started drinking water from the tap again, and the little lump on my lip comes up again. Now, I have a code sore, although I think I've almost gotten rid of it now with essential oil. If you get, I've had it on my fingers. I've had this, this itchy thing on my fingers. This coat sore. It doesn't just stay to your lip. It goes wherever that little germ goes, and we all know one place where that goes, and that's called herpes. The only difference is that the coat sore's not on your lip. It's on it's on your private parts instead. I wonder how it gets there. So that's another story in it. Sorry. Right. So essential oil, I had it on my finger for ages. I think I had a cut and I touched something on the bus, and that was it. Years and years and years it itched. With essential oil, I slowly put more and more of a concentrated amount on there, and it got rid of it. But you've got to go careful, because you're actually killing your own cells and you're poisoning your own skin as well when you use essential oil in that way. It's supposed to dilute it. And that's it. I have not had any problem from this finger, no itching. I'm probably, what I did is I had a cut in my finger and I rubbed on my lip with the coat sore, and then it gets transferred, and it's gone. It's gone, totally gone. And I think I started doing it with my lip, and I can't remember the last time my coat sore came up, to be honest with you. I don't know if I've gotten rid of it. I don't know if a bit of it's left in there somewhere, because it's an animal, isn't it? It's a little virus, a little bug that lives in your skin. I know I'm getting off the subject, but it's a really useful one, people, if you don't know that. But go careful what you do with the essential oil, okay? Because it will burn you and it will scar you if you don't. I'm quite a hardy person. I've got hardy skin, and I got rid of that itch on my finger that was there for decades. Wonder why they don't tell you that one, eh? Right, okay. So I had enough of this. I brought 2 boxes of this. One box was okay, and the other box had this horrible taste, this bitter taste. Oh yeah, and that was another thing. So I inquired about what they're putting in the fluid, in the milk and stuff, and someone suggested it was some sort of, you're not going to like this, like hydraulic fluid or something. Because apparently when your tongue starts going like that means your digestive system's being poisoned, because your tongue's trying to indicate something to you. Anyway, I did a bit of research, yeah, something like that, another thing on the milk. I'm going to experiment, because I don't know if other people are going through this hell, and I assume they are. But what do? You have no choice. You have to drink. Milk is one of our, Right. Anyway, so I'm going to start. I'm going to check out baby powdered milk. Okay. I'm hoping that whatever they're putting in this milk, whatever they're putting in it, it's they're not going to be able to get away with putting it in baby milk, baby powder. So I'm going to go for your compound and get the baby milk, and because I had 2.5 of my bowel removed in emergency surgery 12 years ago. And preceding that, I had an ulcerous cancerous bowel for 26 years, which was through clinical negligence. But anyway, enough of so you can imagine what I'm thinking and the hell I'm going through, trying to stop myself from drinking poison that I'm buying from the supermarket, that is willingly being put in there en masse. And this ain't just to this country, people. It's got to be worldwide. This program's got to be worldwide, hasn't it? Hasn't it? Sorry, it's got to be. They're stepping it up, people, and no one's saying anything. And when I opened this other packet of tea bags and that I tasted that horrible taste, that real bitter horrible taste. I've been drinking tea since I was been born, as long as I can remember. On my dad's side, my dad's family, he comes from London, from Balham, and my nan and my grandpa, they love tea. I love tea. I come from a long line of tea drinkers, and I love it. And I am not mistaken at the fact that they are putting poison in our tea and other products. Okay? Now, I cracked. I thought, right, that's it. Okay, I try and do my shopping fortnightly, weekly, do a bit in the week and fortnightly as you do, because it's cheaper. I live just on the outskirts of Bristol now, so it's... and I thought, right, I am going to go, I'm going to take the receipt back, I'm going to take these tea bags back, and I'm going to go back to the Lidl at Broadmead Shopping Centre, and I'm going to say, there's something wrong with these tea bags, they're sort of like they're being poisoned, they taste bloody horrible. I got up in the morning, that was it, I got up in the morning, opened this, put my tea bag in, and you haven't got anything in your stomach, and the first thing you have is a cup of tea, and I felt sick. As soon as I started drinking this, I felt sick. I looked at it and I thought, oh, and then my tongue started going weird. And I thought, right, I am taking these back. There's a very wise saying, okay? A 1,000-mile journey starts with the first step, okay? I took that first step 12 years ago when I started campaigning against chemtrails. Now, obviously, a lot of people in the world have started searching on the reason why they're doing the chemtrails. Not the right reason, but the reason why they're doing it is because we are in something called equatorial mass. We line up with the centre of our galaxy every 360,000 years. Okay, and we've also got an extra binary star in our solar system called Planet X, or Nibiru, just behind our sun. It's there. So our solar system, Earth, Moon, Mars, our solar system, is being heated up. Okay, to the point of where we are having a mass extinction event. And now this has been going on since the 2012. And yes, that's what the Mayan calendar was on about. It was on about lining up with the centre of our galaxy. They called it equatorial mass. They also had a few nasty names for it too, called the Dark Rift, the Great Annihilator, because what it does is it lays waste to quite lots of parts of the world, because the solar energy and heat coming from the centre of our galaxy is hitting our solar system along with Planet X. So it's really heating our solar system and in turn our Earth up. It has got nothing to do with our carbon footprint, people. It's negligible. I've done my homework there. It's negligible. What we're throwing out is nothing. I don't like poisoning. I don't like fly tipping. I don't, obviously, but the carbon monoxide that we're putting out is negligible. It's nothing. And it never really has been. Only if you live in populated, densely areas like London and stuff in the past, like the smog and that, it's never really been a world-threatening problem. It never has. And I've just explained to you the real reason why they're spraying our sky with chemtrails everywhere. And they're actually spraying our upper atmosphere with sulfuric acid in gas form. Alum oxide. Now this is so secret that but I've through the 12 years, understanding what I'm going through, what they're doing, I've worked out that they just used a mass extinction event to get on with basically doing what they want to do, and that's there's so many reasons why they're doing chemtrails, but I'll try and stick with the main ones, and that's basically to poison the human race. Do you know the main killer in the world today? It's not cancer, okay? It's brain disease, okay? Alzheimer's, heart disease, okay? Alum oxide causes those. It causes all sorts of other things. I wander around in my flat and I'm thinking, how is the human race surviving? How are we surviving this onslaught, people? Anyway, so my story. If you've been following me, you know my story with the moving and stuff, and no, it hasn't changed. And that's all I have to say about that subject. reminds me I must turn the fan on, so this is probably going to be a bit annoying. No, leave it off. Right, okay, so I swore I would go back to Lidl and I would take these tea bags back this time and I would start the ball rolling. If nobody else is prepared to stick their neck out, I'll do it again if you like. I will start the ball rolling and I will take these tea bags back and I will tell you they are poison. I am fed up. I watched everybody avoid the gold label tea bags and I watched them avoid it. And then they took them off the shelf. And they thought, okay, if you can get away with it, you're going to start buying, and then they started putting it in, and I thought, that is it. Put me against the wall and shoot me, do whatever you want. I am not putting up with this anymore. So I went back to Lidl, okay, and no, this is how it happened. And I was on full Terminator mode, I had my recorders and everything going, buzzing, thinking, right, And I walked, and I did my shopping, put my shopping away in the rucksack, and then I turned around, I poured this out of my bag with the receipt, and I went, like, okay, look, there's something wrong with these tea bags, okay? This has been happening for a while. I've had to avoid your gold label tea bags because they seem like they're some sort of poison in them. So I had to go to these, pay extra, go to the breakfast deluxe ones, and now it seems that I'm starting to get the same with these. I said, look, I drink tea like I've just explained to you, and I said, there is something poison in these tea bags. And now, actually, I'll just go back a bit. Just before this is Lidl in Bedminster. Okay, it's late on a Friday, 2 weeks ago. And I walked up to the supervisor, and it was like weird. He kind of walked towards me, and it's like he almost read my mind and he knew what I was going to say. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, I approached him. And I said, look, I just felt this vibe off him, like, oh, come on, just, be a good monkey and eat the poison. I felt, I felt something like, I thought, what, what you say, I said, no, these are, and he said, okay, we'll have to get the manager. So I had to wait for the manager. Manager was actually in his, he changed out of his uniform or whatever, and he was had his scarf and his jacket, and he was getting ready to go. And he was standing right by me, and the guy in the till said, where's that? And he said, the manager's here. I went, oh, great. And he was really he wasn't nasty to me, but he let me know that he was basically pissed off, he didn't really care, and he went to the screen and started trying to put the numbers, putting the numbers in, and he was breathing and huffing and going, and I'm thinking, why have you got this attitude? Why are you behaving this way towards me? And if anything, if you're the manager, right, you should be concerned at the fact that somebody's bringing tea bags back that, taste like they've got poison in them or something. You should be concerned, and he wasn't. He was just totally snubbed. He turned his back on me, did the screen thing, and I got my 99 pence refund. Okay? And the whole thing that was shrouded in, you're going to pay for this. I've been here before, I've been campaigning for 12 months, and I felt it, people, and I knew that. Okay? I am stalked everywhere all the time anyway, so that, I don't want to talk about the property I am in at the moment and what's going on here, because I need to keep the roof over my head. I'll leave it there. But, you make your own mind that what's happening here too has happened in every place I've been since this nightmare for me has started. And it wasn't until I got out there and I thought, right, nice one. At least I've said something. At least, because it's just say something, people, for God's sakes. Are you really telling me you're not noticing how this milk and how your tongue is sore, everyone? Are you really telling me with this how they're hiding it in this and the salt? Because as soon as I put this milk on my tongue, as soon as I taste it, my tongue goes immediately sore, like I've been rubbing it up and down with some salt and vinegar. It shouldn't do that. And I'm wondering, what is it doing to my internal organs? So you see, here we are again, people. It was the chemtrails. What are they doing to our internal organs? Now, it's the food we buy in the shop. Now, all I got on the way home, I would have felt this bad vibe on the way home on the bus, and I usually get that anyway from stalkers around me and stuff. And I got home, And as I do, I hear voices. Shouldn't have started paying attention to them in the first place, or answering them. But it was something we go through in life. And anyway, and I just heard this, this woman say, "You do that again, we'll murder your sister." I don't know. It's through the radio or something. Whilst I was listening to something, I thought, what? And I'll tell you what. I'll be honest with you, people. It's not the first time that's been said. It's been said quite regularly by either someone sat by me on the bus or someone saying it through. You know how it goes. And I was kind of waiting for that, and no word of a lie. That night, wearing this made hardly any difference at all. And I've seen this pattern before with this. It's like you fall into this gap where you can't handle it. You just can't. So you kind of start making these. You think, right, okay, I'll stop making videos. Leave me alone. But it doesn't work like that, people. Once you become a target individual, once you become on this program, you've had it till death. Okay, I saw this woman in I don't know. I think she was Japanese or something. She had a site campaigning against chemtrails and stuff. And she came on one day and she looked white as a ghost. She looked like somebody had just finished threatening to murder her and her family and torturing her. And she just looked at the camera and she just said, "Look, I'm not going to campaign anymore. I'm going to remove all my videos." And and you could see that they got to her. This chemical that makes you urinate all the time, they've been spraying that about a bit, and they've stopped it just a bit recently, haven't they? Have you noticed? And at the bus stops, those things at the side of those billboard things on the bus stop, and they've got this gap, and there's this thing pumping out freaking poison. Have you ever stood next to one of them at the bus stop? They ain't doing it so much these days. They're being careful, aren't they? As soon as you do, I'll tell you I know exactly what that is. That's a mixture of hydrochloride and sulfuric acid. Now, why would they do that? At ground level, that's not going to make any difference for the air, is it? It's up there. That's why they're spraying sulfuric acid in our upper atmosphere, on our ionosphere. Tons and tons and tons in it every day, people. Oh yeah, and that's to save us? See how they've used this mass extinction event? It's just all falling into place, isn't it? I knew when I looked at 12 years ago, people, and saw those lines in the sky, that there was something very wrong. And I made plenty of videos to wake people up and say, look, but, I have kind of, now I've explained to you a bit more of the how that I'm still and will continue to go through, people, and I've worked out also that they can spray this, whatever this stuff is that makes your tongue go sore. I've worked out that they can spray it in gas form as well. Because I've gone without food all day just to test this, and then all of a sudden I'll get this weird gas feeling around me and my tongue goes sore again, without eating anything. Also, because I'm a targeted individual, and trust me, every single thing I do, they are monitoring. Okay, and that means whatever I buy off eBay, whatever I do, I got a battery off eBay for my laptop, my old laptop, and it just said it needed, the last time before it died, it said it needed a new battery. And it was a Soprano special edition. I've never spent that much on a laptop before in my life, but I had some insurance money, so I did. And it was a good bloody laptop, and it lasted me 7 years. So I thought, okay, let's get a new battery for it. Out of respect at how it's lasted for so long, but they are good laptops, Sopranos. Can't pronounce the name. I'm tired. That's another thing you notice on these, and I'm getting that a lot on people. It's sort of like, I don't know, it looks a bit like a skull and crossbone, doesn't it? You know, I don't know why. I just sort of look at it at different angles and I think, oh, fuck, that looks like a skull. You know. Oh, you know, it's yeah. I know subliminal. You get to know subliminal quite a lot, you know, in your younger day when you experiment with your, you know, your LSD and stuff, and then later on in life you realise how they do it, you know. And even that's another thing, people. You notice on how when you look at the curtains and the carpet these days, how the patterns are leaping out at you, making faces and stuff. Fine if you're on some mind-altering drug, fine, but not, you know, sitting down in a chair having trying to have a cup of tea. So I can't get anything off eBay, okay? I got this, I don't know how much memory I've got here, but I got this, it was a metal detecting find, and it was a Celtic owl. I think it was either Saxon or, you know, I think it was Saxon anyway. It was like, you know, 1st century, 2nd century, I don't know. It was quite, probably a bit older, I don't know. And it was a brass owl. It was like a badge you wore, like, you know, so if you can imagine a Celtic owl. And it was great. And I thought, oh, I've got to buy that. It was on eBay. I think it's about, cost me about 15, 20 quid, I can't remember. Anyway, it arrived, no word of a lie, broken and cleaned. Okay? It arrived broken and cleaned. And I got back in touch with the eBay member who had like something like, I don't know, 3,500 positive feedback, and he said, I don't know what you're on about, mate. I don't know how that's happened. I said, yeah, I sent him a picture as well. It's cleaned and broken. Almost a new motorcycle I got off this school teacher who really looked after it, and only done about 25,000 miles, and it, you know, I finished running it improperly because he just took it to Europe and ran around, you know. And every time I went out there to see my bike, there was a scratch, another scratch, a mark, and if they hadn't knocked it over, there was something, you know. And after a while, you know, 12 years of this, people, it gets to you. Okay? The poisoning, where I live. Okay? I had a toxic report, two, and it came back negative twice. So, you know, you've got it covered there, haven't you, police? Yeah, I'll go and get a blood test, you know, urine test, and then we'll start investigating, you know. Comes back negative, and the police say, oh, you know, sorry, can't do anything about it. And that's, you know, when another part of this jigsaw puzzle fell into place, and I had realised that that's it. They've got the police, you know. They've got the National Health. They've, you know, this is it basically, people, isn't it? You know, the takeover has begun in earnest, and this, you know, shall I tell you what it makes me feel like? It makes me, you know, feel those films about Auschwitz, you know, or Schindler's, you know, Schindler's List. I feel like I'm in that concentration camp, okay, and they know they're getting away with this, and they know how evil they're being, but because we're in this massive trap, and because if you know that you're going to be targeted so much, you know that your mortgage, you know, everything's going to be, and it's happened, people that have helped me, they've started on them. You know? This program is worldwide, it's big, and I think you all know what it's connected with and what's really going on. You know, they call it the New World Order if you want. 9/11, the rest of it, we should never ever let them get away with it, you know? Never. The bombing in London, it was all set up and all faked. And you're looking at what Russia's doing now, yeah? I don't agree with what he's doing, okay? But I can't turn a blind eye at the fact that the rest of the evil world is taken over, and he's coming out and saying, "Are you now?" Because that in some, you know, that is the way I see it. You know, did Russia have a 9/11? Have you seen, you know? Now I know Fukushima was organised, engineered, architected and executed, and that's the thing about Chernobyl. I think, was Chernobyl a precursor to that, to see how much radiation they could let out, to see how it would affect, you know, like a precursor, and then so they could really do a good job with Fukushima. You know, and then they're going around saying, oh, we have to put this stuff in your food and stuff because you're getting radiation poison. Yeah, really? I think not. You know, so here I am. The thing is, people, this really worries me because my tongue is sore all the time now because now they're spraying it around me as well as putting it in the food. Now, like I said, I want to keep the roof over my head, so I'm not going into what's happened here, okay, and what's going on here because I want to keep the roof over my head, so I'm going to leave it there. But did you really think that it would, you know, I knew it wouldn't stop. I knew, you know, from the caravan, from Clifton Hill when they first started poisoning me 12 years ago when I first started campaigning, right, from Clifton Hill there into the caravan in the car to Priddy, one of the most isolated places in the west of England, in Priddy, in Wales, on the top of a freaking hill. They came there and surrounded me there and poisoned me. And the police came round, you know, sat there, you know, laughed and joked and said, oh yeah, you know, seeing a psychiatrist, you know, and you know. So I don't bother reporting it to the police anymore because I know that they're, you know, they've chosen their side. And that, you know, whoever these other evil ones are in, you know, call them what you like. Human they are not. You know, 26 years I walked around with an ulcerous, cancerous bowel for 26 years and they sent me away with antidepressants saying there was nothing wrong with me. Until one day, 26 years later, I was getting ready for work and my bowel burst inside of me and the surgeon removed 2.5 foot of my diseased bowel, okay? And then they got away with £2.5 million in clinical negligence. And I've been told that, you know, more like £8.5 million. Yeah, of course I did. 8 times I went for no win, no fee. 8 times. And in the end, I found a solicitor that knew the surgeon. She said she talked to the surgeon. The surgeon said, lied, and then retired. He said, I couldn't see how that would give him 26 years, you know, exhaustion and stuff, having a diseased 2.5 foot of diseased bowel. Yeah, he retired not long afterwards, probably with a big bonus. And someone said to me that I should take him to court for lying and sue him. But he saved my life, you know. I would have died that night. He saved my life. He cut me, you know, 26 stitches from my abdomen to my bloody rib cage. You know, but he, you know, that night he saved my life. So, you know, do you go suing someone that saved your life? And you know, it was decided just 8 times, no win, no fee. I want to get on with my life. By then it was about 5 years down the road. You know, and I've just recently, I need a laptop. Right. Thing is just telling me I've got batteries running out. But I just want to get this. I found, you know, I've been looking for a laptop. I've been using Android. Get this, people. I've been using Android for 4.5 years now. I've been surviving with an Android phone. I've got this Samsung A Lite that I got just before Christmas with 4G. And that's how I've been surviving. So, and I found this bargain on the internet, on YouTube. Oh, not YouTube, sorry. Getting me internet browsers mixed up. eBay. And it was an Inspirano, and it had only been used about 4 times. It was 2.5 years old. It was used 4 times. It was 15.6 inch, 4 HD, brilliant, everything. It had a 2.30 gigahertz processor. It only had 4 gigabytes RAM, but you can upgrade it to 36 gigabytes anyway. And it had only been used about 4 times. And I got it just as it came out on eBay. And I got it £130, £120 and plus £10. Now that, you would not find a bargain like that in a long while. Okay? And I got it, but I had to email the guy and say, look, I can't take this laptop, and I made some excuse, but the real reason is because I know it will arrive broken, or something in the box will be done, or they take it out, or they do something. You know, this is what they do, people. This is like having being a target individual. the new battery that I got for the old Inspirano laptop that I had for 7 years. I put it in and nothing happened. Oh, I wonder what that is. A new battery from a seller with 100% positive feedback with about 5,000. I thought, get it off him. You know, opened my door. The postman didn't even knock or anything. Opened my door. You know, and there's the battery in the corner. You know, I think, wait, you know, I even putting it in the laptop, thinking, yeah, I'm thinking that. You know, this isn't going to work. You know, they've messed with this, and sure enough, it didn't. So I took the laptop apart. I've been of engineering and stuff with laptops and stuff. I had a bit of an electronic musical career going once, which didn't really sort of. I had to stop. So motherboards, computers, and memory. I knew about that stuff. So I did. I looked on YouTube, took it apart, found the battery, the BIOS battery, got a new BIOS battery, put it all back together, put the new battery in. Guess what? Nothing happened. Now, I'm not saying it's me, I'm not saying, but I find that weird that it says I need a new battery and then it finally comes out. And then I get a new battery off eBay, put it in, nothing happens. So I get a new BIOS battery, take it apart, put it in the motor, put it back again, still nothing happens. You work out for yourself if it was me or, But I thought, this, it's going to arrive. And I brought this little electric hobby drill thing and a big plastic thing protected. And that arrived like literally a forklift had been going like that on the corner of the box. It literally like someone bent the corner of this thick box, about that thick. And it was just because it was inside a plastic container that was oval that it didn't actually break at the contents. And I had to ring this guy, I had to send him an email and say, I'm sorry, I can't take this laptop, and make some excuse. This is what it's like being a heavy-duty, targeted individual like myself. You can't, But anyway, people, there we go. I am genuinely trying hard just to get to America. I've had enough of this country. I managed to get my passport before Christmas, and as soon as I saved enough money, I'm going to America. And if I can stick it, I ain't coming back here. This country's at it, people. I love this country, but there is nowhere in this country I want to be anymore. I think it's probably got a lot to do with the targeted individual thing over the past 12 years, probably, but I just don't want to be in this country anymore. I've tried hiding, I've tried running, I've tried everything. I cannot get away from this. They want me. I heard, someone, he's not going to flip. We're trying, he won't flip. They don't care if I wander into the police station, whatever, or hospital, where they've been lying about me. They don't care. He doesn't care as long as he gets his man, does he? Blowing up a few other innocent men, women and children, or, that's more to the power, innit? He don't care, does he? I'm using my faith. I believe in faith healing. I'm using my faith to heal myself, to try and keep going here, and listening, to the better part of myself, saying, look, just get on, just ignore it, get on, like everybody else is. But that was, to me, another turning point, people. I thought, like, okay, and they do. They every time I make a video, every time I say something, they turn the poison up, they turn the stalking up. They let you know, people. And who are they? Yeah, who are they? Anyway, I'll let you know how I get on with the baby powder milk. I hope that works, because I love my milk. I hate tea without milk in it. I do. I can't, any other tea drink, it's horrible. But I've been starting to drink tea without milk in. I've been even starting to think of the possibility of not even having any tea anymore, because I can't find any tea that hasn't got any fucking poison in it, or milk, or anything. What are we doing, people? I feel guilty. It is being British, letting France, Papua New Guinea, and Canada do with a hard leg work. What have we done? We're usually the ones out there in the front, innit? Shame. Shame on you, Britain. Keep fighting, people.